Congratulations, you're going to have a baby. There are so many things to think about and plan for while you're waiting. These prenatal classes are designed to help you prepare for one of the most exciting adventures of your life, breastfeeding your new baby. By educating yourself about breastfeeding, understanding the benefits, and learning helpful hints for breastfeeding before your baby arrives, you're getting off to the best possible start, which will help you keep the connection with your new baby. Welcome to Class 1, Making the Decision on How to Feed Your Baby. There are many decisions you'll be making regarding your baby's life and health. How to feed your child is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. The decisions you make regarding feeding your infant have an impact not only on how your baby grows, but on his health, immediately, well into childhood, and even adulthood. You've probably heard a lot about breastfeeding and formula feeding from friends and family members. You may have heard mixed reviews that either breast milk or formula is better for the baby, that one or the other is easier to manage, and so on. In this class, we'll get to the truth about which feeding method is best and why. As a new parent, you deserve to have all the research-based information so you can be truly informed when deciding how you'll feed your baby. Over the last few months, as your baby has been growing inside you, you're getting to know her, how she moves, when she's active, and when she sleeps. You're aware that your body is changing almost daily, preparing to give birth and to feed your baby. Many mothers strongly believe that their own milk is best for their babies, even though for many years they were told by baby books, magazines, and even some medical professionals that man-made formula was just as good as breast milk. Formulas are available, but they lack many of the essential elements found in human milk. For the past few decades, researchers have been studying human milk and have published some compelling results in recent medical journals. Research shows that breast milk is not just a complete food for babies. It provides protection from many diseases. It has special combinations of fatty acids which aid in brain growth. Let's look at some of the differences. In order to make an informed decision, it's important to get the correct and latest scientific information regarding breastfeeding. Let's look at the facts. Babies are born to breastfeed, and your body is made to breastfeed your baby. As soon as your baby is born, he needs you, his mother. He has been inside of you for 9 months, and your body has taken care of all his needs. Human babies are not fully matured when born, and their mother's milk is specifically suited to help them make the transition to life outside the womb. From the beginning of time, it has been a matter of survival. Babies have always needed their mother's milk, and if the mother was not available to feed her baby, the baby could not survive. Scientists have created substitutes for mother's milk to feed the baby when the mother is not able. Babies can get protein, fat, and calories from infant formula in order to grow, but they cannot get the protection from disease and the other important components that provide what they need for brain growth. Healthcare experts agree that breastfeeding provides the healthiest start for babies. Mothers are encouraged to exclusively breastfeed their babies for about 6 months and continue with added foods for at least a year and for as long as mother and baby desire. If you remember from biology class, mammals make milk specifically designed to feed, support, and protect their offspring. A cow's milk is made specifically to grow a healthy calf. A calf stands up immediately after birth and must have strong legs to follow the herd. The protein content is extremely high to encourage quick growth. It gains about 2 pounds a day and will double its birth weight in about 2 months. A baby blue whale drinks about 50 gallons of milk, very high in fat, so it can gain about 10 pounds an hour, or more than 200 pounds a day. Human beings are mammals, and human babies need specific milk too. When compared to other mammals at birth, a human baby is one of the most vulnerable beings on the planet. For many months, he needs to be held close, carried, and kept warm. He needs frequent feedings, and due to his immature immune system, he needs protection from disease. 75% of brain growth occurs after birth, and the special combination of fatty acids necessary for this growth can only be found in human milk. A baby's mother is the only source that can meet these specialized needs. You are biologically designed to create exactly what your baby needs for food, disease protection, and brain growth. Mother's milk and infant formula have the basic nutritional building blocks of protein, fats, and carbohydrates. But there are numerous components of breast milk that cannot be added to infant formula. Breast milk and formula are not equal. Studies from all over the world have shown that breastfed babies are healthier throughout their lifetimes. Breastfed babies are less likely to suffer from ear infections, allergies, eczema, and respiratory illness. They have a lowered risk of sudden infant death syndrome, of developing diabetes, and of becoming obese. Human mother's milk is very special to human babies. No substitute even comes close to providing the disease protection and brain growth components found in mother's milk. The longer a baby is breastfed, the more protection he receives. The American Academy of Pediatrics says in its 2012 policy on the use of human milk that the choice to breastfeed is not a lifestyle choice, but a public health issue. During the first 2 years of life, your baby's brain is growing at its most rapid pace. Your milk offers the best mix of nutrients for brain growth and is the foundation for building your baby's brain. Omega-3 fatty acids and cholesterol provide the basic components for manufacturing nerve tissue. Breastfeeding benefits moms, too. It burns calories and helps build up the iron stores in your blood. Breastfeeding reduces your risk of developing diabetes, heart disease, stroke, breast, ovarian, and endometrial cancers. And the longer a woman breastfeeds in her lifetime, the more protection she receives against these diseases. Breastfeeding saves you money, too. Infant formula is very expensive. Because breastfeeding babies are healthier, research shows that they have fewer sick visits, less medication costs, and parents have fewer days they have to miss from work. And great news, as of August 2012, through the Affordable Care Act, breastfeeding equipment like breast pumps and lactation services are provided at no charge to you from your commercial insurance company. We will spend more time discussing this in future lessons. However, please be sure to visit the Medela website to learn more. When we examine the impact on the environment, breast milk is one of Mother Earth's greatest natural resources, and breastfeeding helps protect the planet. All that's needed to breastfeed is a mom, a breast, and a baby. Breast milk is a most energy-efficient food source. No trash, no waste, no fuels consumed, no greenhouse emissions. Caring for our planet is important because one day it will be the world our children inherit. One of the most unique qualities of human milk is that it changes slightly in content from day to day, week to week, even throughout the day, to meet the changing needs of a growing infant. When babies are newborns and their immune system is underdeveloped, mother's milk is high in antibodies and other components that protect the baby from disease. When the baby is older and crawling around on the floor, putting everything in her mouth, there is more lysozyme, a protein component which kills germs, in mother's milk. In reviewing the facts, we know it's impossible to make a substitute that is equal to breast milk, but in some situations where babies cannot receive their mother's milk, we're fortunate in the developed world to have safe infant formulas which can help babies grow. You may have heard of infant formulas that claim they are almost as good as breast milk. Companies have been able to develop formula made of cow's milk and vegetable protein, which can help babies grow. We are fortunate in the United States to have a safe water supply. In emergencies or when a mother cannot breastfeed, infant formula can be substituted. Although nutrients have been developed which can be added to formula, the final product is nowhere near the complex, biologically specific food that human milk provides for babies. An unfortunate truth? Over the last 15 years, some batches of infant formulas have been recalled due to safety issues. In some instances, millions of cans of formula were recalled when certain essential ingredients were inadvertently left out of the product. In other recalls, some batches of formula were contaminated with potentially harmful components such as bacteria, chemicals, and even insect parts. It's inevitable that a man-made product is incomplete and vulnerable to adverse manufacturing issues. It's important to note that not breastfeeding can put mothers' and babies' health at risk. Making the feeding decision must take into account the health risks to the mother and baby if breastfeeding does not occur. In January of 2012, the American Academy of Pediatrics, in its position paper on breastfeeding, states, "For infants, not being breastfed is associated with an increased incidence of infectious morbidity, including otitis media, gastroenteritis, and pneumonia, as well as elevated risks of childhood obesity, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, leukemia, and sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. Among premature infants, not receiving breast milk is associated with an increased risk of necrotizing enterocolitis, or NEC. For mothers, not breastfeeding is associated with an increased incidence of premenopausal breast cancer, ovarian cancer, retained gestational weight, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. So when you're making the decision on what is best for your situation, it's important to consider not only the benefits of breastfeeding, but to weigh the risks of not breastfeeding. After reviewing the facts, it's evident that breast milk and infant formula are not created equal. Babies were born to breastfeed. The American Academy of Pediatrics and other medical experts recommend that babies be fed only their mother's milk for about 6 months, then add some other foods and continue to breastfeed for at least a year or longer. Together with love, breast milk helps babies thrive. Remember, all breast milk is precious to your baby, and even very small amounts will give your baby the specialized nutrition and protection that only a mother can give. All mothers are magnificent. When considering the uniqueness of a mother's milk, every mother is a superwoman. In the next class, The Breastfeeding Lifestyle, we'll look at how flexible breastfeeding can be and see how it can fit into your lifestyle.